Hello, Gentle Explainer here. Today I am going to gently explain a horror action movie called Final Girl. Today's story is about four handsome, mischievous boys who, in order to find fun in their boring lives, take a new girl into the woods every day to become a victim of their nefarious game. One day, they find a girl who looks like a doll, but they didn't know that this girl is a completely updated version of the devil. As usual, they take her to the woods and begin their nefarious game. But this time, the story is about to take a turn, as the one they thought was their prey is actually about to become their prey. The story begins with a 5-year-old girl named Veronica. Her innocent eyes are filled with silence, as her parents have recently died. Detective William, sitting opposite, tries to engage her by asking questions, and, to test her understanding, gives her a puzzle. Veronica solves the puzzle in a matter of moments. Seeing this, William says, "You're a very smart girl." He then offers to take her to a secret place where people receive special training and, after completing their mission, are given special jobs. Veronica asks about that job, and William replies, "It's a job to eliminate bad people who kill innocent people for fun." The story then flashes forward 12 years. Where Veronica has grown up and reached the final level of her training. William takes her to a training camp in the woods, where he makes her stand barefoot on a riverbank so she can learn to withstand pain and fear. He asks, "What will you do if a killer appears?" Veronica, without thinking, replies, "I'll shoot him." Then, William hands her a gun and tells her, "Shoot me." She refuses, but at William's insistence, she pulls the trigger, but the gun is empty. Then William picks up a rock and throws it at her, sternly telling her that when the bullets run out, the gun is useless. In reality, William wanted Veronica to become a strong woman so that when the time comes, she won't need any weapons. The story then shifts to a restaurant where 4 boys, Jameson, Denny, Shane, and Nelson are sitting. Sitting with them is Shane's girlfriend, Jennifer. Everything seems normal, but in reality, these 4 boys are serial killers who target innocent and beautiful women. But Jennifer had no idea about their true nature. Meanwhile, Jameson catches sight of Gwen, a new waitress at the restaurant, and approaches her to ask for her number, hoping to make her his next victim. Gwen gives in to his advances and gives him her number, and Jennifer feels a little awkward seeing this, but she remains silent. Meanwhile, William gives Veronica a new training. He comes close and suddenly starts choking her. Veronica tries to break free, but fails. William releases her and then says, "Now you do it in my place." Veronica does so, and her grip is so tight that William can't release himself and faints. She gets scared and slaps him, bringing him back to consciousness. William is amazed by her strength and then teaches her various tricks, such as loading a gun in a short time and many new safety techniques. Now Veronica is fully prepared for any mission. William then takes her to a club and, for her test, points to a man sitting there and asks her to go and talk to him. Veronica does so, approaching him with a smile and asking him to accompany her to the bathroom. The man immediately agrees and goes with her. But once inside, Veronica, upon finding the opportunity, begins choking him, knocking him unconscious in an instant. Just then, William enters, praises Veronica, awakens the man and tells him, "You tried to force yourself on my girlfriend." The man apologizes. On the other hand, Gwen's innocence takes a terrifying turn when Jameson first seduces her and takes her into the woods with his 3 friends. And shortly after, the 4 of them begin chasing her like savages, determined to kill her. Gwen tries to run away, but in the darkness of the night, she can't get far, and they quickly catch her. There's no one to hear her, and eventually, Jameson shoots and kills her. Meanwhile, the true purpose of Veronica's training is about to begin. One night, Veronica, wearing only a towel, approaches William and asks if she's cold so she can sleep with him. This was actually part of her training, where she's learning how to approach people properly. She tries to seduce William, but William remains completely calm. He then ties her to a stretcher and tells her that it's time to learn to overcome her fears. He then injects her with a drug that forces a person to face their deepest fears. Veronica says, "I'm not afraid of anything." But as the drug begins to take effect, she begins having terrifying hallucinations in which she sees a man trying to kill her. The next moment, William arrives and shoots the man. Then, while talking, stabs him in the chest. But it was all just a hallucination, and the next moment, William brings her back to consciousness by pouring water on her. She says, "I saw that I lost that mission, and then you killed me. William says, "It's nothing like that. It was just your final test. Now, you're ready to handle yourself under any circumstances." William then takes her to a restaurant where Jameson and his other friends were going. William reveals the truth about them. These are the same people who killed so many women just for their own pleasure. These four handsome-looking psychos are capable of anything. Veronica then approaches Jennifer, who is sitting in the restaurant. She talks to her and begins to get to know her, hoping to extract information from her as a friend. Jennifer also openly confesses, "I don't like my boyfriend and his friends. Sometimes their behavior makes me feel very strange. They go to some unknown place to play some hunting game, which they never talk about. But I have no interest in all this. And now I just want to break away from them." Veronica understands everything and comes to William and tells him that Jennifer is completely innocent. Only those four boys are psycho killers who play a game with girls for fun and ultimately kill them brutally. William says, "Your mission is absolutely clear. You just have to kill those four, and you have to do it alone." The next day, Jameson comes to the restaurant and, seeing Veronica, goes to talk to her. It was all Veronica's plan, so that Jameson would see a beautiful single woman and come to flirt with her. And that's exactly what happens. He says, "You don't look like you belong in town." Veronica smiles and replies, "Yes, I'm new in town and don't know anyone here." Jameson flirtatiously asks her out on a date and tells her to come and meet him there tomorrow. Veronica agrees, because that's what she wanted. Then, we see a scene from the next night, where Jennifer is with her boyfriend Shane, and they kiss. Shane says he's going hunting with his friends. Jameson comes to pick her up, and they leave. Then, we see Nelson, who is having dinner with his mother. Just then, his friends come to pick him up, so he picks up his baseball bat and gets into the car. Meanwhile, Danny is dancing around his house with an axe, thinking that today's hunting game will be a lot of fun. Just then, Jameson arrives and takes him along, and the four of them start heading towards the restaurant. Meanwhile, Veronica, dressed like a doll, arrives before them. Just then, Jameson asks her to come with him and takes her out to meet his friends. They all set off, but on the way, Veronica asks where they're going. Jameson says, "Where we're going, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you're in for a surprise because there will be other girls there." Everyone laughs, thinking that this girl is so innocent, and it's going to be so much fun to play games with her. But they don't know that tonight will be their last game. But Veronica doesn't let them suspect anything and pretends to be completely innocent. Just then, Nelson, having fun, leans out of the car window and breaks a road sign with his bed. He then tells Veronica, "Come on, break something too. It'll be fun." Veronica agrees and breaks a mailbox on the sidewalk. Seeing this, Jameson smiles and tells his friends, "Looks like this girl will go a long way with our team." After a while, Jameson stops the car and everyone takes Veronica with them toward the woods. Arriving there, they stop at a spot where some chairs have already been placed. Veronica looks around and asks, "So what are we going to do now?" Danny says, "Let's play truth or dare." Veronica smiles and agrees. But before that, he gives everyone drinks. Now the real game was about to begin, as Veronica had already mixed a drug into the drinks that causes hallucinations. Everyone drank their drinks except Jameson and Veronica. After which, Jameson began a new twist in truth or dare, choosing truth first. Veronica asked, "Tell me, what was the worst thing you've ever done?" Jameson explained, "Once, I went hunting with my father, and I shot a rabbit in the leg. It started limping, so my father told me to kill it, but I couldn't because I was scared, and the poor thing died in agony. Then, after coming home, my father slapped me hard and told me never to return from a hunt empty-handed." Now it's Veronica's turn, and she chooses truth, saying, "I had a chance to save someone's life, but I didn't." Danny interrupts and asks her to elaborate. Otherwise, take a drink and complete the dare. Veronica doesn't elaborate, but instead drinks the drink because she's already trained for it. This way, she can control the drug's effects. Nelson's turn comes, and he chooses dare. The others ask him to show them some markers, so he picks up a worm from the ground and swallows it whole. Veronica feels very strange, but says nothing. Then she asks when the other girls will arrive. Jameson replies, "The game will continue until they arrive." And now the dare falls on Jameson, who is dared to kiss Veronica. Hearing this, Veronica regains her composure, and Jameson lightly kisses her. Now it's Veronica's turn, and in the name of a dare, Jameson ties her hands with a belt. While internally angry, Veronica pretends to be scared and says, "Please, I want to go home." Jameson laughs and says, This is the real fun of the game. Everyone else begins to rejoice that their prey is now scared. Jameson says, "I'll give you 5 minutes. Run as far as you can." Veronica starts running, but not out of fear, but because her mission has already begun. After some distance, she releases her hands and continues running with full preparation, knowing the 4 men will come after her. The hunting game has begun, but this time, she herself is the real hunter. The 4 boys chase him in different directions. Meanwhile, the drug begins to take effect on Danny. He sees 2 masked men in front of him. In his intoxicated state, he begins screaming in fear and tries to kill them with an axe. Just then, Veronica arrives and, seizing the opportunity, attacks him. Danny sees him fighting the masked man, but it's actually Veronica who beats him severely, snatches his axe, and then stabs him with the same axe, killing him on the spot. Veronica then puts on his shoes and continues into the woods. They now see Nelson, who is searching for Veronica with a bat. But then, the drug begins to take effect, and he sees masked men surrounding him. He screams in fear, but then Veronica attacks him. First, taking his baseball bat, Nelson sees the masked men hitting him, but it's Veronica who attacks him several times, causing him to fall. Then, suddenly, she climbs on top of him and finally crushes his head with a rock. Then, we see Jameson, screaming, searching for Veronica. Then, he finds Denny's body and realizes that Veronica is no ordinary girl. At the same time, we see Jennifer, who has arrived in the woods and is searching for Shane, but she stops when she sees Jameson. Jennifer was actually Jameson's ex-girlfriend. As we learn from their conversation, taking advantage of their solitude, Jameson slowly moves forward and begins to kiss her. Jennifer falls for his temptation, and they become intimate right there. Meanwhile, Shane arrives and, seeing them in this state, begins to hit Jameson in anger. Jameson too becomes enraged and begins to reveal everything to Jennifer. Shane is also involved in this dangerous game where we hunt beautiful women together. Just like you. Shane yells at Jennifer, "Don't listen to him and get out of here." But Jameson now pulls out his gun and wants to kill Jennifer because she already knows everything. But Shane intervenes and starts fighting with Jameson, beating him unconscious. But then, something strange happens. Shane suddenly tries to strangle Jennifer. Only then do we realize that it was all Shane's hallucination. Jennifer wasn't even there, but he was strangling Veronica. But Veronica now fights him with all her might, and, after a long struggle, finally kills Shane by strangling him on the spot. He has now completed 3 kills, and the last one left is Jameson, who finds Nelson's body. Meanwhile, Veronica arrives at a lake, where her nose was broken during the scuffle. Just then, Jameson arrives and claps, saying, "You've done a great job. How could you disguise yourself as an innocent girl and kill all 3 of my friends?" Veronica explains that she had laced his drink with drugs. "But you didn't drink, so you survived a little longer. But no matter, it'll be more fun hunting you." Then she asks, "How many girls have you killed so far?" Jameson replies, "You've only killed 21, but I want to reach 100. Hearing this, Veronica becomes enraged, and a fight ensues. Initially, Jameson overpowers her, as Veronica was already injured. But as soon as she gets the chance, she makes her best move, climbs on top of him, and begins strangling him. Jameson tries desperately to free himself, but she refuses to let him go, causing him to faint within moments. She then forces him to drink a drugged drink and drags him to a rock. Hanging him from a rope, Jameson becomes frightened and begins pleading, but Veronica refuses to listen to him, as he has assaulted many girls worse than this. The drug begins to take effect, and he begins to see Gwen and all the girls he brutally murdered. One by one, Jameson cries and cries, slipping from a rock and hanging from a rope. He dies in this state. Just then, William arrives, and we learn that he was there from the beginning to ensure Veronica's safety. In the final scene, the two are sitting in a restaurant, eating Veronica's favorite cake, and William tells her to prepare for the next mission, as there are still many psycho killers out there who kidnap girls and prey on them or sell them off. This is where the story ends, with an incomplete ending. I hope you liked this movie explain video. If you want to see more similar movie explain videos, then you can watch this video by clicking here. Now I go and see you in the next video.